Welcome to What Are Those, the show that explores the art of sneaker culture. I'm your host, Adam Butler, back with another episode. Thank you so kindly for being here. All right, so I got a lot to talk about today, man. I got a lot to get into. I'm going to give you guys a cool list of sneakers that's been on my mind for some time now. It's going to be a couple of sneakers that you have to get in your collection because they're seriously slept on. Folks not thinking about them. I mean, it's just the definition. It's just the definition of sleeping on sneakers right now. And then I'm going to give you a couple of sneakers that are totally played out, in my humble opinion, that we need to give a rest that I'm personally not into right now. After that, my man Sharif is in the building, man. He represents Dead Stock DMV, one of the dopest resale sneaker spots in the Washington, D.C. area, aka the DMV. It's super cool, but not only is he part of that squad, he's just a very innovative person when it comes to sneakers, when it comes to investing in sneakers, and just being, the business of sneaker culture. He's the type of guy I like to talk to about these things because it's not all about hype with him, but it is about taking advantage of something that we all spend our money on and we can start making work for ourselves. So I'm looking forward to talking with him. I'm looking forward to you guys hearing that conversation. All right. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that's been tuning into this show, man. We've been having a couple of great weeks on this show, especially over on TikTok. The engagement has been very high, man, and I really appreciate you all, man. And I'm looking forward to getting back outside. I mean, I know we've been outside for a minute, but I'm talking about in regards to sneaker cons, sneaker events, just different events out and about. I haven't really been doing that. I'm a family man, y'all. I haven't really been able to get out and do things. I got all these sneakers and nowhere to wear them to, man. So one thing I'm definitely looking forward to is SneakerCon DC. SneakerCon hasn't been in DC in like 4 years, I think, maybe 3 years. The last time I went to SneakerCon was definitely before the pandemic. Washington, DC is one of those areas in those markets where we have great sneaker shops. We have an Alma Manier here. We have an Atmos here. Again, Dead Stock DMV, Esteem, a bunch of cool spots and a lot of dope sneaker heads, right? And we have sports teams. I mean, major sports teams, the Commanders, the Mystics, the Wizards, the Nationals, all of these, we have all this stuff here. But I don't feel like sneaker culture as a whole respects us. And that's kind of par for the course when it comes to DC, right? We're not really respected like that. People don't really look at the culture of Washington, DC. That's why a lot of times I like to have local people on this show. I like to, this is a national show, and I like to try to expose you all to people that are doing amazing things right here in my backyard. I love being from Washington, DC, and I wish more people appreciated DC for more than just a place to come and see the White House and see the monument and things like that. Like, we had something in the water here. Had Tony Lewis on the show talking about that. Like, that was a big deal for Pharrell and them to pick this area and say this is a spot where we want celebrities and superstars and musical, legends to come and put on a huge festival like that. We don't get things like that in this area. We just don't, and honestly, I gotta be real. SneakerCon don't come here as much as it should. I feel like, the fact that we haven't had a SneakerCon here in a couple of years, not calling out SneakerCon. I'm not calling out SneakerCon. I'm just saying that it feels good to have SneakerCon here at the end of August. I'm very much looking forward to that. And again, the reason why I'm looking forward to it is because, sneakers, hip hop, fashion is a communal thing. We're supposed to be meeting people and sharing ideas and talking to people, not just sitting on the internet talking about the new thing we copped all the time. It's the toughest thing and the suckiest thing about the pandemic, that it was a lot of just, oh, I copped this, oh, I copped that, oh, I'm going to try to sell this, here's how much you can sell this for. And it wasn't like, yo, here's where I wore this, here's where I wore that, right? If you into social media right now, you're probably seeing a trend called Get Ready With Me, and I love it. It's just a bunch of people basically saying like, look, this is the fit, but I'm going somewhere with it, right? That's what life is all about, being out and about, getting air, you know what I mean? And enjoying life, right? So I am looking forward to going to SneakerCon. I'm looking forward to going out and hitting up different spots, promoting this show, meeting people that are into this show. I was lucky, right? Over the, it was like in the wintertime, the Wizards had a sneaker day right? And you know, you guys saw some of the content that I put out from there. It was really cool to meet people that actually listen to the show. Like, that was such a great feeling to shake hands with people like, yo, I listen to the show, man. You're doing dope things. And I'm like, yo, I remember you. I seen you here, I seen you there. And it's just, again, the community aspect of it is something that I'm looking forward to. Hopefully some of my Up on Game family can join me out there. Some of my On My Feet family can join me out there, man. And we're going to have a really good time. I plan on being there, barring any crazy illness or anything like that. I wish I didn't know myself. I'm just saying I plan on being at SneakerCon and any event that's going on in the area, man. And hey, hopefully I get to travel soon and meet some of you all that aren't in the DMV area, man. Again, sneakers are about community. Fashion is about community. Hip hop is about community, man. Let's start to build that community back. All right. And when I meet some of y'all, I hope to see some of y'all in some of these sneakers I'm about to bring up. And if you have on some of the sneakers that I'm saying are not really into right now, no worries, because it's all personal. Fashion is a very personal thing, and you can make anything work if you just, you know, put your own little bit of sauce on it, for lack of better terms. All right, so listen, we're about to jump right into my list. Sneakers that are slept on and I think you should cop, and sneakers that I think you need to go ahead and give a rest because there's just no innovation there. Let's get right into it. Okay, so we're going to start off on a positive note. This sneaker right here, this is for my podcasters. This is the Nike Air Trainer. You probably know it as the Bo Jackson. There's a couple of different versions of this. There's one with the strap. You know, obviously there's a two things like that. It always goes like that. But this is your basic Air Trainer. Man, this sneaker, it's slept on, okay? What I mean by slept on is that it's a cool sneaker that some people cop, but it doesn't have that hype around it that everyone just covets, right? That feeling of like, oh, it's so exclusive and I'm doing something special. It's even tried to get some people tried to put the hype on it. You know, there's a Travis Scott version of this sneaker. There's a hyped up version of this sneaker. There's collab versions of this sneaker. I know there was the Atlanta Olympics version of it that came out some years ago. It looks very similar to this one. Super exclusive. My man Mike Rich has that sneaker. I'm not sure if he's worn it yet, but it's a dope sneaker. Shouts out to Mike Rich, man. I love a Nike Air Trainer, especially because you can wear it all year round, right? It looks like a bulky sneaker, but I'm telling you, you can wear this like to the cookout with just like a nice little like light button down, open up with the tank top underneath with some shorts. You could really make this work, and of course you could wear it in the fall, especially this colorway right here for my podcasters. This is like a jungle green, kind of like gold and like, you know, what is this, like tan colorway, man. It's a beautiful sneaker. All right, it's a beautiful sneaker. I really like it, the Air Trainer, and it doesn't have to be in this colorway. Obviously, I'm saying that you need to go ahead and get this silhouette, right, because you can make it work, and it comes in all sorts of colors. And I'm telling you, this sneaker is really available. You can get it pretty much anywhere. Most spots you could just walk up in the store and just cop this. You could actually cop this one right here at a couple of the boutiques shops in your area, or you could just go online, Nike.com, Champs, whatever, you know, wherever you cop your sneakers, and you can get you a pair. And if you have to buy them on resale, it's probably not going to be that much. You're probably going to spend about $20 over retail on this sneaker, but it's a great sneaker. It's a year-round sneaker, in my opinion. See, that's why I think it's so dope. And it's slept on. It's slept on. It's something about an athletic sneaker. That sounds funny, right? Like, sounds like, you know, all sneakers are athletic, right? But you know what I mean? Like an athletic sneaker, like Nike basketball, you know, the trainers, things like that. People tend to stay away from them because they don't feel like they can dress them up, or they don't have the hype, like I said. And to be honest with you, it's only about 3 or 4 silhouettes that have crazy hype on them, if you really think about it, that like only, you know, they're difficult to get, things like that, man. So don't worry about all of that. For real, I'm never going to come on this show and try to gear you towards the hype. The hype is not important to me. What's important to me is what looks good and what I think would look good on you. Right? If I try something on, if I cop something and I'm a big fan of it, then I'm going to suggest it to you. You know what I mean? Because that's what this is about. Again, community, right? So the Nike Air Trainer, the Bo Jackson joints, man, By the way, they Bo Jacksons, right? But the Nike Air Trainer, a lot of Nike athletes wore this one, especially back in the 90s and late 80s. Super popular model. Cop you a pair of those, man, for real. Even if you aren't a huge sneakerhead, right? Even if you aren't a person that's going to have like a giant collection, and I'm not suggesting you have to have a giant collection, to be honest with you. I really don't think you need to, but you should have this in your collection because it can be super duper casual, right? You can't dress it up, right? It's not like some of the sneakers I talked about on the last episode where you can get away wearing a suit or whatever. Now you think you can do it, go for it. But this is just a cool sneaker just to have, just to rock. Again, you could rock it year round and get away with it. It comes in all sorts of colorways. You can have like 3 or 4 of these and have a couple of outfits to go with it and be solid, man. The Nike Air Trainer, I'm a big fan of it. This is one that's underrated. You need to cop this sneaker, in my very humble opinion. All right, number 2. Actually, before I get to number 2, and this is on my negative list, this is on my overhyped list, you need to give this sneaker a rest. I'm going to talk about the Jordan 1 before I actually get to the sneaker that I'm picking, okay? Because I'm pretty sure people would expect me to pick the Jordan 1 high. Now, mind you, I had the Jordan 1 lows on my must-have. Every man must have this sneaker in their collection list, and I stand by that. And I still think Jordan 1s are a must-cop. Maybe because I'm just stuck in my ways. Maybe I'm just a hype beast, whatever it is. I love a Jordan 1. I was into Jordan 1s before the hype hit, and I was into them while the hype was hitting, and I think I'm personally into them right now. And I'm going to tell you, I think this is a good time for you to cop Jordan 1s, especially those colorways that just sit in the store. Because the Jordan 1 is like a Chuck to me, man. Like, again, I get it. The Jordan 1 is more prestigious than the Chuck Taylor. I get it. And way more expensive than the Chuck Taylor. But you talk about your Stan Smith, your Chuck Taylor, these kind of like go-to classic sneakers that will never be unpopular. You can wear them at any age, in any situation. Now, Jordan 1s will never be overhyped to me. I think that, the resellers and the people that were into the game just to try to cop and get money, or the hype beasts again, were gobbling up Jordan 1s just to have them because they were the cool sneaker, and they still are a cool sneaker. Don't get it twisted. It's still not super easy to buy Jordan 1s, but it's easier than it's been in a long time, especially, again, some of the colorways that are newer or aren't as, for whatever reason, they'll catch on, right? The Jordan 1 Heritage is a sneaker that's sitting around. That's a classic white and red Jordan 1. Cop that sneaker. I own it. Get you a pair of Jordan 1 Brotherhoods, man. It's a weird colorway, but not crazy weird. You know what I mean? Especially for y'all in the frat, Greek life people, go ahead and cop that sneaker. I can go on and on. Those are just 2 that are sitting in the stores right now, man. Jordan 1s are easy to cop right now, and I think you should go ahead and get your hands on it. So it will not be on my overhyped list, even though I'm sure people expect it to be, right? So let's get to the sneaker that's actually on my overhyped list. And I don't even have a pair right now because I've actually sold all of mine. And I'm talking about the Yeezy 350 V2. That sneaker has run its course, man. I'm sorry. I got a little model of it right here, right? This is shouts out to the person that gave me this too. This was a gift from a listener. I can't remember your name right now, but I'm gonna try to put your name in the description for the podcast, because this is a really dope gift. I really appreciate that. I always try to put it in the show as well, because this is really thoughtful of you. But anyhow, the Yeezy 350 V2. Okay. There will always be certain colorways, the beluga, right? Things like that. We all know the Yeezys that are always going to be hype and people going to always be cool. And they're beautiful, by the way. But God, there's so many colors of those things. And it's just, it's too new of a sneaker, in my opinion, for me to look at and go, well, that's just a classic sneaker, like a Jordan 1, right? Or a Jordan 3 or something like that, or a Chuck, or with all the sneakers I name all the time, right? It doesn't have that prestige yet. Maybe it will in time. So I don't look at it as a sneaker that I have to have every colorway of. Is it super comfortable? Yes. Is it innovative? Yes. But is it tired? Yeah. Yeezy Day was a couple of days ago, and cool. Yeezy Day is great. And there's models of Yeezys that I still like, right? definitely Wave Runners are like one of my favorite sneakers, period. But this 350, man, and y'all tell me what y'all think about this. I definitely want to see what you all think about the 350. The 350, I just think it needs to sit on the shelf for a minute, man. Cop whatever you want, but like new releases of it, I just don't see the point. Like, I'd love to see how many 350s are actually selling. Like, what's the actual number of units that are selling? I'm sure it's decent, but people probably just copping just to cop at this point because it's there and you can. And I just don't know the direction. I know Yeezy is, when it comes to fashion, he's an innovative guy, and the company is an innovative company, and there's a lot of models. But this 350, I just don't understand what's happening. I gotta be honest, the Yeezy 350 is completely played out to me. I'm done with it. I'm sure I'll change my mind at some point, but as it stands right now, I do not own a single pair. No, I got a pair of zebras sitting in the closet. That's real. I do have a pair of zebras, but they are beat to the pulp. They just sitting in the closet. I don't even wear them anymore. But other than that, I don't even have a pair of 350s anymore. They just aren't for me. Perhaps it's my age. Perhaps it's the places that I roll and the things that I put on my body. Whatever my style, whatever. But I'm not feeling the Yeezy 350 right now. I think the Yeezy 350 is played out, but I do want to know what you all think, man. Hit me up. Let me know. Y'all done with Yeezy 350s? V2s. I know, Turtle Doves and stuff like that just came back out, and a lot of people are excited about that. And I think that's the way to go, right? I think if you let some of these 350 V2s sit for a minute, just let them cool out. You can't walk in the store and buy them anyway. See, that's the difference, right? You can't just walk in the store and buy them. It's not like certain pairs of Jordan 1s. There are no 350s sitting in the store. So it's almost like one half of the company, Yeezy, wants it to be this exclusive thing, and it's super cool for it to be exclusive. And then there's the other half of the company, Adidas, who wants to do Yeezy Day and things like that, and they want to sell some of this stuff. And I'm really interested, man. Maybe my man Shake could come back on and we can have an Adidas talk. I'm really interested in where the business is going. You know what I mean? I'm not saying the business is struggling at all, but the popularity, I'm not seeing it. I'm not feeling it at all. I think it's just a lot of the same, and it doesn't have the prestige of the Jordan 1 or the nuance of the New Balance, right? New Balance has gotten hot because New Balance is new, and it's giving you it's giving you the thing that the Yeezy used to give us, which is like that kind of adult muted look, but also with something very cool and innovative. So I don't know, man. I'm interested to see what you all think about the Yeezy V2 350. I'm not into it right now. That's just me, though. We got two more sneakers on the list. This is a sneaker that is super duper slept on. In my very humble opinion, it was super hot last summer. I'm talking about that Nike Waffle 1. Super cool, right? I think this sneaker is really, really dope, right? Really, really dope. And this is a colorway for all my YouTubers out there. I don't know the name of this colorway, but my wife actually got me this for Father's Day. I was extremely excited because I always wanted the gray pair, and I'm going to actually cop the gray pair, easy to cop right now. So I'm going to be able to get those. I think this was even on my list last summer when I was doing the show only on OMF. I think these were on my list of like most anticipated sneakers of the summer or something like that. I can't remember, but this model is extremely comfortable. Now, I will say this though. This is a spring and summer shoe. You can, if you're looking at me on YouTube, you can see some of the, like, there's like mesh netting on the side. Perfect summer shoe. It's super light. Your feet are comfortable in it. They come in almost any colorway you can think of, and you can just get away with these. And they have that look of like a kind of collab type of sneaker. They have that look to them, right? But they aren't. This is like $100 sneaker that you could go to like Dick's Sporting Good and get a copper pair of these, man. I'm in love with these sneakers, man. I'm in love with the Nike Waffle 1. For my podcast, just Google Nike Waffle 1. You're going to see so many colors. You're actually going to recognize this shoe because people wear this shoe now, right? Again, what I mean by slept on is that there's no hype around this sneaker. It had a little bit of hype last year, but it kind of faded off whenever Nike makes a new model. And unless you attach brands to it or whatever, the hype usually fades off. This is just, as my man Greg on the Sneak This podcast would say, this is just shoe. But that's okay. Every now and then, just having shoe is cool. So this is definitely on my list of sneakers that you have to have. And the super duper slept on, man. I'm a big fan of this one. I can't say much more about it. Like this is just a automatic go-to, but it is a summer and spring shoe, so keep that in mind. Okay, the last sneaker on my list is one that is played out, and this is another model that goes through phases. In the 2000s, the sneaker was all the rage, and then it fell off in the 2010s, and then it came back in the late 2010s, early 2020s, which we are still in. And I'm talking about the Nike Dunk. The Nike Dunk and the Nike Dunk SB are obviously classic sneakers. They'll never fall completely off. There are certain models of this sneaker that will always be cool. You'll always be able to rock them, and they'll always get eyes. But when I say they just mass produced this shoe, especially that panda thing, I don't want to see again in my life. Okay, I don't want to ever see that shoe again in my life. Super played out, man. And I think it's just, it's like what people think about the Jordan 1. It's got that hype train going, and they cost so much money, and they can resell for so much. And I think a lot of the older cats really just want to get that old thing back, right? They want to be able to say, well, yeah, I could cop that sneaker that I couldn't cop in 2002, right? That Dunk that was just unobtainable. And I appreciate that, and I think you should be able to get that. I think that's who the Dunk market should really be for right now, is the people that remember Nike Dunk, Nike SB, and really being able to and were maybe they were too young to cop, but they just couldn't get their hands on it. So some of this stuff is coming back out. And of course there are Nike Dunks that are cool and catch my eye. And yes, I have a couple of pair of Dunks in my collection, but not a lot. I've sold a couple of them, honestly. And again, this is just my opinion. I just think that the Dunk isn't offering anything new. I like Michigan Dunks. I actually need to cop a pair of Michigan Dunks, right? I like them just because I like the colorway on them, and I feel like I can make that work. But other than that, Dunks that are coming out, the Jackie Robinson Dunks were cool, right? The Jackie Robinson ones that just dropped maybe a couple weeks ago. Other than that, the sneakers that are coming out right now, the Dunks that are coming out right now are similar to the V2. Like it's just, you're putting them out just to put them out. And it'd be one thing if they were mass produced enough for them to just be in the store and for you to cop, but they are not. That's the thing. It's just a Dunk dropping, and it's supposed to feel exclusive every time, and it doesn't. It just doesn't. It just feels like we have to put out something, and we need to have some hype behind it, and resellers gobble them up, and then they're just on the market, overpriced. And they just sitting there. For me, I mean, again, I'm done. I don't need a new Dunk right now. I don't need a new Dunk, unless it's going to be an easy cop. Again, a Dunk, I get it because it's an easy shoe to put on, especially some of the the more the normal colorways, right? It's an easy sneaker to put on, but don't tell me I need to spend $500-$600 on those Dunks right now. Don't tell me that. I don't believe you. Okay, I don't believe you, and I won't participate. Dunks are on my list of sneakers that need to take a rest. Again, Yeezy 350s, Dunks, I'm not saying get rid of them forever. I'm also not telling you not to cop them, but I am saying I'm a little tired of seeing them. I'm going to need something new from them, or I'm going to need them to take a break. Give me, personally, some time to get adjusted. And maybe I'll come back. I don't know. That's just me. I want to know what you think. Let me know some sneakers that are on your list that are totally played out, that you ain't rocking with no more. Hit me up. Let me know that. And also hit me to some sneakers that are slept on, man. What sneakers do you have in your collection that I may not have that you think I should cop? All right. All right. Listen, now we about to jump into this interview with my man, Sharif. He is a co-owner of Deadstock DMV. I spoke with him a while back. Man, it's one of my favorite people, as I said before. I really enjoy talking to Sharif, man. I've known him for a while. He has been super innovative in the sneaker game, and he's low-key with it. Super low-key with it, man. He's had some of the coolest ideas I've seen when it comes to sneakers, and I really enjoy the store. The store is super successful. the store is super successful and they're doing their thing, man. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. My guy Sharif coming up next. Brother, welcome to the show.
How's it going, brother? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I was just admiring your sneaker room before we got started. It's incredible.
No, I appreciate that. Several years of collections.
Yeah, man. Listen, I got sneakers all over the floor. You probably seen a couple of pictures of what I've sent you.
Yeah.
I've got sneakers sitting all over the floor. I've yet to set up this room, but I'm going to use that as motivation, sir.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. Container store. Container store.
There we go. Thank you. See, you always get me here. Container store. That all right. Man, we got a lot to talk about, man.
Absolutely.
Dead Stock DMV, which is I am a big fan. I actually featured a pair that I got from you guys on the Heat Check this week. You guys showed me love with those dunks, man. I was, I really wanted those. So
no, appreciate it.
But let's talk about you, man. How did you, I met you, what was it, about 2017, 2018?
Yep.
You've always been big into the sneaker game. And one thing I admire about you is that you've always done something that I think people really aspire to do, which is capitalize sort of, on the business side of the sneaker game. So just talk to me about how you got started with sneakers, and then let's talk about your business acumen when it comes to sneakers.
Absolutely. So ever since I was in high school, when I lived in Waldorf, Maryland, I started working for a company called the Athlete's Foot. That was before Foot Locker, right? And then I started working at Foot Locker when I was in college, right? So the sneaker fandom has always been there for me. My very first hype shoe was actually the Jordan 12s. So that was when I was in middle school. I was able to get those, my very first Jordans, and I think I wore them forever until the sole came off, right? So that was the birth of the sneakerhead right there. You know what I mean? Like, and every time I would walk into a room, it'd be like, oh my God, those are so cool. Yeah. And my dad worked in the mall at the time. So he was able to get a hookup from the guy at Foot Locker. And that's how I was able to get those shoes. Nice. So that was a blessing. Yeah, it was a blessing. But ever since then, I've always been a sneakerhead, always had to have, the latest and greatest. And I think it was, that's kind of where it all started for me.
Yeah, man. And again, you've successfully taken like a passion and flipped it into a business. When we first met, there was a swaps app and all of the things you were working on right now is Dead Stock DMV. How did you decide that you wanted to take this from not just being a hobby or just a passion and turn it into a business?
Yeah, great question. So, I obviously own my other businesses that I do on, for that are day to day. But when I started the app, and the app just wasn't picking up the traction, but I knew that it was the right thing. I knew that people needed a place to swap, sell, and trade shoes, right? And it just so happened that I was actually at my high school, working with the football coach and things like that to try and get the football team uniforms and things like that. He introduced me to Brandon and Twan, my business partners over at Dead Stock DMV. And so when I approached them and I told them about the app and things, they were like, well, why don't you just become a partner with ours? Why don't we just grow as a company, grow as a business, right? And that's really, really, really where it went down. It was where okay, let's focus here. And so when we started, we were in Waldorf, and Brandon had been doing this for years, right? Yeah. He was the original Dead Stock guy. Yeah. And then Antoine came and helped him along. And then I came on from the business side. And I looked at everything, and we were like, all right, maybe Waldorf isn't the right market for it, but let's keep the Waldorf because that's where our staple is. And then we went into National Harbor. We opened one in Atlanta. We opened one in Springfield, and then also over in Pentagon City Mall, right? Then COVID came, hit, knocked us on our butts, right? And but it was a blessing in disguise, because what we said was, okay, guys, let's refocus. Let's build one store and make it the best store in the DMV. Right. So that's kind of what we've been doing for 2021 here with the shop in Springfield Mall now. We have the store there, and that's kind of going to be our primary focus for the years, to make it the best store. Everything hype beast we're going to have in there, everything that the fans want, everything that the DMV needs, we want to have there.
I can speak from experience that they do good business. You definitely do good business. One thing we talk about on this show a lot is the resale thing. A lot of people are discouraged by resale. And I actually, I did a show on just reselling and the plug. I called it the plug, right? And I mentioned you guys because I think a store like Dead Stock and other stores that are, consignment or just resale shops sort of take away the danger of dealing with someone that's just creating a price out of thin air, selling you fakes, having to go deal with reps and all these things that people do, which again, no judgment, but
Right.
a store like yours, just sort of walk me through, like, and then you don't got to give away the keys, but just the business model of how a store like Deadstock works.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you why dead stock was also important to me as well. I got many times on things like Instagram, right? On other platforms where people were like, all right, hey, I'm going to sell you this shoe, pay me, and I'm going to mail it to you. Never got it mailed, right?
Yeah.
But so we want to take that away from the risk factor to the customers, right? So that's what we do at Deadstock. We're very transparent, right? All of our employees know, hey, here's our model, here's how we do it, because what we want to do is we want to build proteges.
Yeah.
We want to raise the DMV to be a sneaker culture. So not only Deadstock does it, everyone can do it, right? So we can either resell your shoe. If you don't feel comfortable with the price we're giving you, you still have the option to do consignment too, right? So that's kind of our platform. It's yes, we own the store. Yes, it's ours, but it's yours too. You come in. If you want to put shoes up, you put shoes up. You want to clothes up, put clothes up.
Yeah.
Right. So it's open to the community, and that's really our model.
Yeah. I love that, man. I really do. Because again, it's a community. Sneaker culture is a community. And that's one thing that, this show really focuses on. The movie I did, all these things focus on that, there's a lot of negativity when it comes to sneaker culture. It's all about, capitalism and spending too much. And, again, people don't focus on that culture part. And one thing about, that I like when I wasn't able to make it to the grand opening, but when I saw what was going on with the grand opening is that, like you said, you treated the store like a community spot. There's other stuff to do within the store. The aesthetics are dope. It's not just a spot where people, let's just keep it real. You walk into some of these resale shops and they kind of talk down to people if they don't know everything about the sneaker, or if they come in with a certain price, and or they, it's like, it sometimes it could feel like this pressure in the sneaker culture, as opposed to just, hey, this is a friendly thing. We just at the end of the day, we're buying stuff that we like, that we think looks cool,
That's right. And that's what we want to keep it, very, very, it's all about the vibes, right? It's all about the vibes for us. We want people to come and be like, man, I love these vibes.
Yeah.
We got the R&B 90s music kicking in the background, right? We want the old heads to come in. We want the young guys to come in, right? We want everyone to resonate, with what we do in the store.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, before I let you go, I got to talk about this backdrop. I'm really feeling this backdrop because, and the reason why is because, one, you fresh. And also I'll tell a quick story, man. I met this brother, like I said, a couple of years ago, and he hooked me up with one of my all-time favorites. I still rock them. I'm looking at them right now. I wish I could grab, but I got to get up, and they are beat down. That's how much I wore these things. The Jordan 3 bread cement joints. You hooked me up with those. I love them.
Absolutely. Appreciate them.
Salute you for that, brother.
Thank you.
Why I want to talk about your backdrop is because, for me, sneaker culture is art, right? And sneakers are art. And I'm loving those two art pieces you got back there, man. Tell me about those.
I appreciate it. So Insanely Dope, actually a local artist, did those for me. And Chris Riggs, an artist out of New York, did that one for me. We were actually at Art Max up in Jersey City, and they were actually, it was a donation piece that they were doing for charity. So we were raising money for charity, and so I actually got both of those. And Insanely Dope actually has art in the store for sale as well too at Deadstock. So at Deadstock, we definitely promote local artists and the sneaker culture, because it's not just sneakers. It's music, it's clothing, and it's art, right? Like you mentioned. And so all local artists are more than welcome to bring in their art and actually have it in the shop for display, for sale, whatever they want. We welcome it. We welcome it for sure. So Insanely Dope, he did this one here. And we have pieces like that in the store as well. And then we also got the Art Villain. He does some stuff. And Dez Customs also helps us out all the time.
Love it, man. Love it, man. Listen, man, Deadstock DMV is the spot. I am a big fan of you guys. But before I let you go, man, give out the socials, your social, Deadstock Show social. Let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. So Deadstock DMV on Instagram. I'm the Sheriff 84 on Instagram. Follow us, and we're more than happy to welcome you in.
There it is, man, brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you for joining
me. I will have you back on.
Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it.
Big shout outs to Sharif for joining me, man. Big shout outs to you again. Remember, wear what you want, okay? I'm not telling people what to wear and what not to wear, okay? I'm just a man. I'm just a man. Anyway, shouts to Raphael Sadiq. I'm just a man, right? But But there are some sneakers that are just played out and y'all know it. I want to know what's on your list, so don't forget to hit me up. Follow us, Up On Game Network, at Up On Game Network. Follow the team, the On My Feet Network, the at On My Feet Network. And remember to subscribe to this podcast, all right, on all podcasting platforms. We are there. Please subscribe. It helps us out, and go ahead and leave a comment as well. That really helps us out with the algorithm, getting the network out there, and the network is super duper cool. We got all sorts of shows going on over here at the Up On Game Network, and we premiering new shows as well. Shouts out to Flash Garments and all of the rest of the crew, man. A lot of new stuff coming up on Game, so you want to follow us. Remember to subscribe to the podcast. Go ahead and follow me at MSR_Adam, at MSR_Adam. I'm here. I'm always available. I love to converse with people, man. And I want to know what's on your played out list. I especially want to know what's on your played out list. And I really want to know what's on your step on list, man. Let's talk about it, right? Also follow me over on TikTok at the Butler Did It Podcast. We do it big on TikTok, man. We have a lot of fun over there, all right? Remember to mind your mental health, people. Mind your mental health. It's super important. Mind your mental health. And please, always remember to be great. I'm up out of here, all right? Peace.